Just 24 hours before Survivor Series, it was time for the last Smackdown before Survivor Series from the All-State Arena where Survivor Series takes place, and we had multiple matches on the card, including the tag titles being on the line and your last prep, especially ahead of the Women's WarGames match, which has been focused on Smackdown. And the faces made their way to the ring to kick off the show, and despite the tension between the latter two, they appeared to be on the same page. Bayley's master manipulator and quality villain arrived on the scene and tried to poke fun at the delicate partnership, leading to the making of a main event for later in the show, pitting the Money in the Bank and the Queen against any two Damage Control WarGames team. This was essentially any and every opening promo designed to somewhat set out the night's main event. This one had a little bit more substance to it, with the teasers of remaining tension between them and Damage Control there. The role model coming out alone, but it was still fairly uneventful promo that could have been easily done in a far shorter backstage promo. But yeah, the chemistry behind cameras, Shotzi's energy, that was good stuff. Before it's time for the Judgment Day versus the Street Profits for the tag titles. The Judgment Day secure momentum ahead of WarGames match as they benefited from an assist by Rhea Ripley to defeat the Street Profits and retain the tag titles. The match had a quicker pace than most, and the crowd ate it up. Ford and Dawkins were the de facto babyfaces, for better or for worse, and the Chicago Chaps for the WWE Universe wanted to see them regain their titles they had previously won. Instead, Balor and Priest overcame their challenge and sent a message to Cody, Jay, and Sami, and heavyweight champion Rollins, and of course Randy Orton. A solid segment, and Jay kind of did what it needs to do in the short term, but what happens with the Street Profits next, it will be an interesting question. But yeah, I'm going to let them answer it, because this is fun stuff. 7 out of 10. It was in time for the Grayson Waller effect, and it gave way to a tag team match between the insufferable heels, Waller and Theory, and Owens and LA Knight, who interrupted their little talk show segment after it reveals their segment was over. The match was a showcase for the four guys, of course absent from the Survivor Series card for some reason. Chicago crowd was red hot for the babyfaces, especially Knight, and stayed with the action the whole way through. The babyfaces comeback was hot, the heels bumped all over the ring, while never losing any credibility, and the right team went over. A successful segment, even in the promo segment, which kind of receded, it was unnecessary, but still got the job done. Good to see Owens back, but yeah, just kind of wish that all of these guys were on the pay-per-view card already. I'll go with 6 out of 10. Santos then interrupted Carlito's promo, and by the end of the segment, with an injury to insult, an exchange of insults in Spanish, and the insistence by Escobar that Rey Mysterio has gone forever led to a brawl. A sneak attack by the heel left Carlito clutching his arm and teasing that he'd be unable to compete in Sunday's schedule match with his former LWO teammate. Backstage, following a commercial break, Escobar looked to further injure Carlito until Dragon Lee made the save, fending off the heel and seemingly changing the Survivor Series match. The intensity here was great. Escobar's really stepping up as a heel, and Lee I think will put on a great match. And for me, this change really works, so yeah, I liked it. Good stuff. Before it's time for the Brawling Brutes versus Pretty Deadly. And could the Brawling Brutes be no more? After last week's loss, in which Butch errantly blasted Bridge Holland with a bro kick, the powerhouse of the team walked out on his partner, leaving him to fend for himself against Pretty Deadly. Butch turned in a impressive performance, fighting the Posh and Pretty off with a blind tag and rolled them up for the Breezeweights inspired showing. This would suggest one of two things. They're poised to go their own ways, or Sheamus is going to return and bring them back together. Either way, I think I would like it. And Jareth, the split brings us one step closer to rechristening Pete Dunne, so be it. But yeah, it kind of does feel rust, and I'm not entirely sure where we're going here, so I'm going to give it 5 out of 10, but tentatively to see where it goes. Before it's time for Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair versus Bayley and Asuka. For the majority of this match, they were on the same page here, which was kind of the story around it. At one point, it even looked like the man would pick up the win for her team, delivering a manhandle slam that would put Bayley away. Then Flair speared Asuka into her unintention to find their relationship prior to a momentary make-up once again reared itself. The heels take advantage, scoring a win. The outcome creates an interesting dilemma. What will happen at WarGames? Will they get along or not? Is the match going to sink or swim with them? And as we saw with the Bloodline, this can be a very intriguing angle. Setting up nicely. There's questions to be asked on both teams. This is a really fun match. Teething tensions at the same time, and really getting into it. So I enjoyed descending Smackdown, and it gets a 7 out of 10 from me. And overall, Smackdown this week gets a 6 out of 10 from me. I thought, a fun episode of Smackdown this week, I have to say. I thought the build to WarGames have kind of been done mostly in previous weeks, but we did get important new developments. And genuinely throughout the show, I kind of like where we're heading with the show. I think moving in a positive direction, and we definitely got an intriguing card coming up tomorrow. But anyway, guys, that's it for you. Thanks so much for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Next week's daily wrestling news and subscribe to the channel is going to be greatly appreciated. Thanks so much for watching. Peace out.